Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Amanda Lamb. In today's deep dive conversation with Keely Arthur, we're going to talk about porch pirates who are trying to steal Christmas in the form of holiday gifts. Keely, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So first of all, for our listeners who may not know what porch pirates are, it's a great phrase. What are they?
Yes. So a porch pirate is a person that sees packages on your porch or a porch and goes up and steals them. They don't belong to them, but they're taking them anyway.
How big of a problem is this? I mean, are there any numbers here in Raleigh, for example?
Yes, it is a growing problem, as you can imagine, because all of us shop online now. I think in a lot more frequency, almost daily, than compared to a few years ago. So RPD says this year there have been 273 reported cases of porch pirates. But we know that this is a crime that's typically underreported. So those numbers are a little hairy right now.
You mentioned earlier that really just a fraction of these are reported, and without reporting them, the police really can't track what a big deal this is. How many people usually report this?
So only 17%. And it's funny because you think if you're a victim of any other crime, you're probably going to report that to police. But people don't report it because they think, I'm just going to go ahead and get a refund or a replacement. The issue with that, though, is the police then don't have any awareness of this crime, and they don't have any way of cracking down or tracking it. So if you do have a situation where a package is stolen from you, please report it first before getting the refund.
Absolutely. And I would imagine that because most of us are shopping on Amazon, this is making it worse. There's just more packages for people to steal.
Yeah, it's harder to keep track of. And then, you can drive around. Right now, we could get in the car, drive around, probably see dozens, if not hundreds of houses with packages on the front doorstep. So it's really a crime of opportunity, and it's becoming a bigger problem because there's just so many packages to steal.
And it can happen in any neighborhood you mentioned.
Any neighborhood. I asked Officer Roderick Lee, who we interviewed from the Raleigh Police Department, about this. There was some talk, maybe nicer neighborhoods, because you think, the item might be nicer. And he said, no, it's everywhere. There's no neighborhood that hasn't had this as an issue.
What do you think people are doing with the items? Are they keeping them? Are they selling them?
I think it depends on what they find. So they'll open it up. Sometimes people will find their package opened and down the road just thrown because the thief opens it up and realizes they don't like it. But if it's something they like or something they know that they can resell and get money for, maybe something, they personally don't want, but they know other people do, like video games. For me, for example, I wouldn't want one, but I know that it holds a lot of weight for a lot of people. That's one way that they make money off of it.
Absolutely. And what do police recommend in terms of trying to prevent this?
It sounds dumb, but telling your delivery person, creating a relationship with them, maybe giving them some coffee, some water, or some snacks, and saying, hey, can you put my packages behind this bush or on, go around my house, put them in the back. Or sometimes people have cages that you can do. I mean, there are different ways. Anything that's just going to make it so the porch pirate would have to spend more time kind of snooping around, that's going to serve as a deterrent because these porch pirates want to act quickly. They want to grab the package and get away from the property as quickly as possible.
And I know another example is having people sign for something, but the problem with that is most people work and it's hard to be home to sign for a package.
Yeah, I said to the officer, that's so inconvenient though. And he said, well, yeah, but it's a lot more inconvenient to have the package stolen. So getting it signed for. Amazon doesn't really offer that, but oftentimes with more expensive items, you will have to sign for. If you have a family member who lives nearby who maybe works from home or lives at home and is not going out as much, you can have the items delivered there.
And you can also have the items delivered to your office.
To your office, yeah. I know some offices have said, please don't do that, but it's a way to really make sure your package is secure.
It's a possibility. So what about cameras, Ring doorbells? Does that help?
It helps, but not in the way that you would think. You would think, again, it would be a deterrent. The thief would see the Ring camera, the doorbell, and run away, but they don't. They know that most people have these things, so they'll they'll wear a hood, they'll cover their face in some way. But what it does do is it helps in the investigation later on. So that way there will be footage of the suspect.
Great. Well, Keely, we're going to be right back after the break, and we're going to talk about how your team found and returned packages to some theft victims. Pretty interesting story. Welcome back to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm talking with Keely Arthur about people who steal packages from people's homes. So, Keely, you and your team found some packages that had been stolen and dumped. First of all, tell me how you found this out and where were they?
Yeah, so we kind of looked on the Nextdoor app. There's always a treasure trove of news stories on the Nextdoor app. And a woman had said that she, I think, was going for a run or just been outside, and she noticed packages near a creek in the Eastgate neighborhood of Raleigh. We went down there and, we found the street and we found the creek. Sure enough, the packages were right there. And the woman said this, but we also confirmed that it was not one person who, maybe accidentally lost their package. These packages belong to different people.
So multiple addresses.
Indicating, that they had been stolen from people.
And so you explained to me that you had high heels on, but your photographer, Richard Atkins, made his way down the creek embankment and fished him out of the creek.
He did. And it's like, I know any day I put heels on, a day I'm going to actually end up having to get dirty. So I should just not wear heels. But Richard went down there. He got video of the packages, and then we brought them up. And we kind of decided, what should we do with this? Because there were some items left in the packages, but, one was, plastic disposable pee pads, things that people wouldn't, necessarily
be missing
much. But we wanted to talk to the people that were victims. So we looked at the addresses and we drove over to their houses.
And, what was their reaction? That had to be pretty shocking. You show up at their house with an empty Amazon box and say, are you missing something?
Yeah, it was stunned reaction. One woman just screamed, "Excuse me," when I said, "Hey, we found your package at a creek." They were actually really grateful to us to kind of, sometimes these packages go missing. You don't know what happened to them. So we were able to kind of fill in the blanks. We found them here. We think that you were a victim of a porch pirate. And then while they were grateful to us, they were really kind of frustrated with the people that do this. Always kind of the reaction is, how do these people have all this time on their hands? Don't they have something better to do? It's Christmas. What are they doing?
Yeah, and I don't know. It just seems like a very personal crime, and I think it's because somebody is coming onto your property, onto your porch, which most of us consider, that is our property. And so it's got to feel like a real violation of privacy.
It does. And you're taking the one woman, the P-pad family, where they had a kid with special needs who needed those things. So there was that violation. And then the other woman said that she thought that the package I was holding that was now empty actually was from her best friend, who called her and said, "Hey, I'm sending you this package. You better put it underneath your Christmas tree. You have to open it on the 25th. And so she was really sad because that had a lot of sentimental value to her.
And that is something important, the tracking of packages. When a lot of us, we order a lot of things at one time, but really pay attention to the tracking. And also maybe let somebody know, hey, this is coming. So when it doesn't arrive, or if it doesn't arrive, they can say, hey, this didn't come.
You can act fast. Yeah, you have an awareness. Keep a tally. We're all we're clicking, buy 15 times a day, it seems right now. So keep a running list. Obviously, you can in Amazon, you can go to your orders, check the status, but really be aware of it. Because if it goes missing, there's a very high likelihood that it's because someone stole it. So you just need to be aware.
So we've talked about prevention. What about consumers' rights if their packages are stolen?
So most large manufacturers or companies like Amazon, Target, Walmart, they'll act quickly in getting you a replacement or refund. I've done it with Anthropology when I had something go missing. But smaller companies, more mom and pop shops, they might not have the ability to send you a replacement or a refund. It really is more of a case-by-case basis there. So check with the company first. Try to get your refund or replacement that way. If that doesn't work, dispute the charge with your credit card company. That's why we always recommend hooking your credit card up to your online shopping accounts versus your debit card or your bank account.
You have a better chance of getting the refund when you're dealing with
your credit card. They do offer that added protection. And then the third thing, if those two things fail, is to file a claim with your renters or homeowners insurance because it's a theft. So you could get coverage that way. And one thing I do want to say is, we think about houses, porch pirates. They're seeing this happen over and over again in apartment buildings now, too, because all the packages will be dumped in the mail
into
room.
one space.
Yeah.
Right.
And then people just can kind of grab it and they walk away. And I asked the officer, is it people's is it your neighbor who's doing this, who's stealing it? And he said, well, no, a lot of these buildings are open during the day, or somebody just can walk right behind them. And then think about all the packages for in just one room that somebody can steal.
And I live in a condo, so that would be where I live. I see these packages piled sky high in the mailroom, and you're right. You could get a big take.
Get a lot. Yeah,
you could get a lot. So so people need to be really aware. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your insight into this, Keely, and thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download and making us part of your morning routine. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email that's waiting in your inbox every morning with Triangle news events and headlines to get you ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.